stories of the night, Davao City Mayor SARA DUTER-CARPIO will now seek for presidency, says Representative SALCEDA. President Duterte appoints ex-PNP chief of PNP spokesperson DIONARDO Carlos as new PNP chief. Longer hours of voting on May 2022 elections set by Commission on Election. United States reopens borders after 20 months under COVID-19 pandemic. We bring you the latest happenings over the globe. Good evening, my name is Alvin Pelobello and this is EURTV World News. After withdrawing her candidacy for mayoral seat of Davao City, Mayor SARA DUTER-CARPIO will run for the presidency, says one of her allies. In an interview, Albay Representative Joey Salceda says all political gyration shows that she is moving for the presidency. Salceda adds Duterte-CARPIO eventually run under the ruling party of Lakas Muslim Christians Democrats or Lakas CMD, headed by House Majority Leader Martin Romualdez. The lawmaker also answers the rumors that Duterte-CARPIO will run as vice president of former Senator Bongbong Marcos, as he said that aiming for the highest second post in the country is supposedly not an option for the Davao City mayor. On Tuesday, Duterte-CARPIO has withdrawn her candidacy for Davao City mayor, despite announcing earlier that she is not interested to run for the highest post in 2022 elections, most especially under her father's PDP Laban ruling party. Presidential aspirant Partido Reforma Chair Senator Panfilo Lacson withdraws authorship on bill seeking to reimpose the death penalty for heinous crimes. Lacson sent a letter to Senate Secretary Mayra Villarica telling he is not interested anymore of the proposed bill. The letter dated November 8, 2021, wherein he formally informs the Senate that he is withdrawing his authorship on the Senate Bill number 27, or an act reinstituting the death penalty in the Philippines, filed on July 1, 2019, and accordingly request that the bill be no longer considered for deliberation by the Committee on Justice and Human Rights and Constitutional Amendments. Lacson has already made a statement a week ago along with his running mate, Senate President Vicente Tito Soto III, that they are no longer had interest on the reimposition of death penalty in the country. In 1987 Philippine Constitution, death penalty has been disallowed unless for compelling reasons such as heinous crimes. Lacson has filed the Senate Bill number 27 in 2019. Another presidential candidate, Senator Manny Pacquiao, backs out in supporting the reimposition of death penalty, and he insists that he is also against same-sex marriage. President Rodrigo Duterte appoints former Philippine National Police spokesperson DIONARDO Carlos as the new Philippine National Police Chief. Here's the details from Sheila Naraga.
Malacanang Palace has chosen the new Philippine National Police Chief in replacement for Police General Guillermo Eleazar that will take a mandatory retirement. On a signed appointment paper, President Rodrigo Duterte has appointed Lieutenant General DIONARDO Carlos to be successor of General Eleazar. Carlos, the Directoral Staff Chief, will take over Eleazar's seats on November 13 as the chief turns into 56 years old, a mandatory retirement age of PNP chief. The newly appointed chief had served as a police force spokesperson and chief of aviation security group. He is also a member of Philippine Military Academy class of 1988. On the other hand, the Department of the Interior and Local Government DILG is expecting that Carlos will set the high standards for the PNP and maintain his disciplines, specifically on the goal of cleansing the police organization. Meanwhile, General Eleazar said he is willing to help Carlos for his new position. Carlos will serve as the 27th Chief of the National Police Force and will essentially be the last PNP chief under Duterte's administration. This is Sheila Naraga for EURTV News.
On the other stories, the Commission on Elections sets a more longer voting hours on May 9, 2022 elections compared to the previous general polls. According to COMELEC Commissioner Marlon Casquejo during the House Committee hearing, the schedule has been approved by the COMELEC and Bank. May 9, 2022 election starts on 6 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the evening. Casquejo adds that the voting precinct would not be closed on the dot, as they are still advised to accommodate voters within 30 meters away from the voting center. On 2019 midterm elections, voting ran from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Earlier, the COMELEC said that stretching the voting hours would be necessary for next year due to the limited number of people inside the precinct to ensure the social distancing amid the threat of COVID-19. The Philippine government aims to vaccinate 15 million individuals on the 3-day COVID-19 vaccination drive under Bayanihan Bakunahan. According to Vaccine Czar 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗧𝗩 Jr., the event was scheduled on November 29 until December 1, as they will extend to help regions who are struggling to administer COVID-19 shots. The government will use schools, gymnasiums, fast food chains, malls, and workplaces that will be served as vaccination sites just to ensure that there are enough space for all vaccinees. On his Talk to the Nation public address, President Rodrigo Duterte urged the public to participate in the said event. Duterte even called out vaccinated individuals as heroes. In the latest data of National COVID-19 Vaccination Dashboard, around 35.6 million had received first jab, while more than 30 million gets fully vaccinated against the viral infection. Since holiday traffic approaches, considering to reimpose number coding scheme during rush hour plans by the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. The Unified Vehicular Volume Reduction Program policy was suspended with the implementation of the community quarantine in the Metro Manila amid pandemic. MMDA Chair Ben-Hur Abalos says the traffic continues to worsen, a reason why they are looking to re-implement the number coding scheme that will take in effect during peak hours only. Under the number coding scheme, last digit of the plate or license plate number are not allowed in the national roads, following the sequences 1 and 2 for Mondays, 2 and 4 for Tuesdays, 5 and 6 on Wednesday, 7 and 8 for Thursday, and 9 and 0 for Fridays. Abalos adds MMDA personnel will monitor the traffic situations for a couple of days before coming up with the decisions. In related stories, MMDA unveils a new traffic signalization system among 2 U-turn slots in EDSA. This aims to reduce traffic along EDSA. Let's hear more from Vanessa Cleofas.
Metro Manila Development Authority unveiled the new traffic signalization system in 2 U-turn slots along Epifanio de los Santos Avenue in Quezon City. The new unveiled traffic signal aims to reduce traffic without interrupting the operation of EDSA bus carousel. According to MMDA Chairman Ben-Hur Abalos, who led the ceremonial switching of the new traffic lights, they are preparing in the coming holiday season. Abalos added that it also improved road safety, pedestrian movement, as well as reduced travel time 24/7. He also thanked Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte for being their partner on the traffic management initiatives. Quezon City Assistant Administrator Alberto Quimpo has also in the inauguration to express his gratitude to project. To recall, only light vehicles were allowed to make a U-turn at EDSA QC Academy, while the U-turn slot near Dario Bridge was open for emergency and government-marked vehicle only for 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Vanessa Cleofas for EuroTV World News.
The United States of America lifts its land and air borders to foreign visitors that are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. This is after 20 months of restrictions on travel around the globe that affect tourism industry and separated families. This restrictions was imposed by U.S. former President Donald Trump in 2020. This is the State Department's effort to slow down the spread of coronavirus disease. Following this development, U.S. authorities plans to closely monitor travelers' vaccination status and will still requires a negative COVID-19 tests that has been taken 3 days before travel. Refugees from Democratic Republic of Congo moved into Uganda amid armed conflict in Kisoro. Thousands of Congolese left their home to evade the disturbance. Mary Tulod has more.
About 5,000 refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, came into Uganda through the southwestern area of Kisoro after fresh conflict erupted at home. Resistant rebels seized villages in North Kivu province near the Democratic Republic of Congo's border, sources say. According to a statement released by Kisoro district officials on Monday, the number is expected to rise as combat in eastern DRC continues. Reports indicate that the attackers belong to the M23 rebel group, which was active in the area since 2012 and 2013. Authorities stated that majority of the refugees are the elderly, children and women, and others who are not physically okay and cannot walk easily. They also added that these refugees do not have shelter, medicine or water, and hygienic situation is poor. The Uganda Red Cross Society had previously said that registration of new immigrants had begun prior to their transportation to refugee camps. Uganda hosts about 1.5 million refugees, mostly from Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, South Sudan, and Somalia. This is Mary Tulod for UTV News.
That has been the stories of the night. News stories you need to know. You can always check out our social media accounts for the latest happenings over the globe. Thanks for joining me this evening. Once again, this is Alvin Pelobello and this is UTV World News.